Welcome to High Gluttony. I'm Gretchen.
And I'm Becca. And we're two curious ladies who like to cook,
Smoke,
learn,
and enjoy a meal with friends.
We invite you to join us every 10 days or so here at the High Gluttony Homestead and listen to us make a mess
and have a lot of fun. So step inside, Gluttoneers. Hello, Becca. Welcome to fall.
Hi, Gretchen. This is our spooky episode, I guess. Spooky, not spooky at all, but this is coming out right before Halloween. I love Halloween. You love Halloween?
I love Halloween. I am making master plans for a new costume this year, as far as being maybe a dragon, being inspired by watching some Bob's Burgers yesterday.
I love that. That's fun.
I like the dress up part. I like the dress up part of Halloween. That's my favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I like being something else or someone else for a day or so.
Mm-hmm. I like the spooky side of it. I like horror movies, so I like to spend the whole month just watching scary movies and thinking about all things macabre and horror. I love it. I'm so excited. Also, it's Moose's birthday's right around Halloween.
Happy birthday, Moose!
I know! Happy birthday, Moose! And I think I'm going to be Dorothy and make him be Toto.
Yes, you have to do that.
Right?
Why had that not even occurred to me? Oh my gosh, you have to.
I know. I cannot wait. I actually cannot wait. This will be probably my forever costume, and yes. I am done.
I have reached peak costume.
Yeah. But we are taking it easy today. This is kind of a no stress one for us. We're gonna be carving pumpkins. We're going to be talking about pumpkin seeds. And then we're just going to be talking to each other, maybe about our favorite Bob's Burgers Halloween episodes, maybe about who the fuck knows what we talk about. We never know.
We'll find out when we get there.
Tell me what you're smoking, though. That looks super fun.
So this is the first of my harvest of this year. I had a couple of buds that had been the stems had been chewed through by some little caterpillars that were in the stems. Very annoying problem to have. Luckily this year, knock on wood, I will not be seeing any more of those. I had covered the plants in diatomaceous earth earlier this year to try and prevent thrips, because it seems to be highly recommended, and it seems to have actually worked on the caterpillars as well, so that's pretty exciting. And so these little buds, they fall off, they won't grow anymore, they just die. So I'd rather get them than have them go all funky outside. And so I am smoking some lightly ready plant of undetermined origin.
Plant light.
Yeah. So this is the first of my harvest. I did mix it with a little Frida from Sites High Elevation, because it, just in case, it's balanced that out with some CBD.
Yeah. And we love the Frida. I love all the flower at Sites High. The Frida is just so fun, though. I love it.
Yeah. I love the other one especially. The other one I just love mostly because of its name. I think they're kind of both relatively similar as far as effect for me, but WAP is a great name for a hemp strain.
The best.
But what are you enjoying today, Becca?
I'm using my pipe. I don't know if I've told the Gluttoneers that I got a bong a little while ago. We got rid of our bong when we left San Francisco and moved to Utah because...
I have it.
Yeah. Because I was like, I don't want to carry this. I don't want to drive this. So Gretchen got the bong. And I haven't had a bong since, which has been 2 years, more than 2 years. So I've been ridiculously using the bong, and I decided I needed to take a tiny break from the bong. So I'm using my little trusty old pipe again. And I'm smoking some frozen margarita flower that has, yeah, I know.
Like the name.
It's fun. It has limonene, myrcene, and linalool, and then 23% THC, and no no CBD. So it's a fun one. I will see how it goes. The name alone works for me. So I'm done. I'm in. Yeah, sold. And we're doing a very festive drink, different drinks, but ciders nonetheless. And I have a Blake's hard apple cider, which I've never had before. And it's fine. It's, I feel like most ciders are too sweet for me,
Oh,
and especially the apple, but it's tasty. It's just like apple juicy.
right. And I'm literally having apple cider with no alcohol. I did go to Bevmo this morning thinking if I saw something interesting, but I maybe was not in the right section. I didn't find the ciders. And so I just am going non-alcoholic today because I did have a little bit of a binge last weekend and discovered that my liver does not love alcohol at all. So I'm having a spiced cider. I did put some cinnamon and long black peppercorn, some clove, and then I had bought this other special peppercorn the other day when I was at Whole Foods, and I gotta go grab the container real quick so I can remember the exact name. Timut peppercorns. And I bought it because it says bright and citrusy. And so I agree. It has a very, very appealing aroma and has made for a delicious beverage. So I'm on board. Thank you, Whole Foods.
So while you're having just a cider, it is the fanciest cider that I have never made for myself. So
I know, right? I'm like, I'm just boring. I'm so
three
basic
types
today.
of peppers.
But I put 3 different types of peppercorns in it because I bought this fancy peppercorn last week and it smells intriguing.
Of course.
Of course.
And once again, I'm like, I opened a can.
Cheers. Cheers to you opening a can. Yeah. And to me, never knowing when to stop.
The perfect balance.
How this works so well.
I
know. Forced me down because if I was doing this with anybody that was a super yes man of like just being like, yeah, let's do every fancy thing. I don't know how I would get anything other than this podcast done if I was left onto my own devices and no one being like, not quite that much, Gretchen, pull it in, rein it in.
Yeah, we get to like the 75% mark and then I'm like, nope, that's gonna take too much time. We're gonna be too tired. That's it. We're done. Well, yeah, so we're just hanging out, taking it easy. We did find some interesting facts about pumpkin seeds that I thought would be a fun thing to share.
Quoogles.
It's Quoogle time. Settle in, Gretchen, for our pumpkin seed quoogs.
I'm settled.
Okay, I'm settled. All right. Pumpkin seeds are rich in vitamins and minerals like manganese and vitamin K, both of which are important in healing your wounds. So, pumpkin seeds, like little band-aids for your body. They also contain zinc, which helps the immune system fight bacteria and viruses, which in the fall, this is a good thing to be paying attention to. So, get your pumpkin seeds.
We are still in a time of COVID, so anything to support your immune system is a good idea.
Or at least Gretchen and I think we're still in COVID. Not sure about a lot of the rest of the world, but we think we're still in COVID.
We had that conversation earlier, didn't we? About how we think people maybe think COVID is not a thing anymore, or never did think it was a thing. But
just us.
Stop.
We digress.
Stop. No sidetrack here. We're not going down that sidetrack. Back to you, Becca.
From the studio, Gretchen. Pumpkin seeds are highly nutritious and packed with antioxidants. They can help with your heart health, your blood sugar levels, fertility, and they can help with your sleep quality, which I thought was interesting. Instead of just saying help you sleep longer, I'm all about helping me get that sleep quality. Pumpkin seed me up. Let me sleep.
I need to get some rest. I clearly am undervalued. I should have been buying 50 pumpkins today and carving so many pumpkins that I won't even know what to do with myself. Or I could just buy pumpkin seeds from the store. That might be the easier way to go.
I know.
New snack of choice, pumpkin seeds. Feels silly that I did not pick up a bunch of them when I was at the store today. So sad.
No, they were just in the way before, and now I need them.
Yeah. Right.
So that's all I wanted to share about the seeds themselves. But then I did find some interesting things about pumpkins in general, but I guess more specific about the flowers of pumpkins. And so I was asking Gretchen earlier if she had tried to grow pumpkins, and she was telling me it's a lot of hard work for kind of a little return. She's had pumpkin vines pop up, but not
Yes.
necessarily intentionally.
You know what? More than resource, it's space. And since I do not have a lot of property here, I could never grow like the size pumpkin that we're carving today. It just doesn't. I mean, unless I got rid of the bunny pen, but we know that's not happening. So.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That will never happen. Yeah.
Too big of an ask.
So, pumpkin plants grow both male and female flowers. And this is interesting because only the female flowers turn into pumpkins. So, the male flowers will generally grow fast and first, and they're responsible for creating the pollen that fertilizes the female flowers. So, this is kind of an interesting, so self-fertilizing from flower to flower. And then the flowers are edible also, which reminded me of squash blossoms. Gretchen's nodding.
Yeah.
She probably knew all of this.
Yes.
All the same.
It's not just pumpkins. It's any squash, really. And squash blossoms of squash are edible. So, yes. I'd love to do a taste comparison someday, to do a pumpkin and a squash blossom to see if there's any noticeable difference, but I am assuming it would all be the same.
Well, this article said that there's a distinct flavor difference between the male and female pumpkin flowers.
So they're saying the male flowers are more bitter, though.
Yes.
Was the final
and tougher
conclusion there? Oh, well, they're tougher. Oh, interesting.
Tougher. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So supposedly the flowers of pumpkins themselves taste different. So I'd be curious to compare it to a squash. Like if you could get a male, a female of the pumpkin and then a squash and see if there's any real difference.
Well, yeah. So then you'd have to repeat the same experiment with the squash flowers because it's got to be the same. They'll have male and female flowers. So it would be interesting to try all four of those side by side and do like male to female squash, male to female pumpkin, and then do male squash to male pumpkin, female pumpkin to female squash tasting. Would be interesting.
Would be interesting to someone. Yeah.
Sort of insane. It would be interesting to me.
It did say that though you can't eat those flowers off the vine, you do want to cook them. And it's pretty common to use pumpkin flowers in dishes in southern India. They are often in soups, salads, teas, fritters, and rice.
Fritters is not surprising. I'm sad that I've never had that thought before about using squash blossoms in rice. Oh. And then for extra credit, you can stuff the squash with the rice that has the squash blossoms in it.
Oh my gosh.
And then do like get a little well-washed julienne of that and do this garnish. It's like all the squash from blossom to something. I don't know. Yeah. Little sidetrack.
So lots of options there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting. I didn't really think at all that like a pumpkin would have two different types of flowers. I just don't think about those things.
I only learned that not that long ago, which I was surprised that I learned it so late, because I feel like being from the culinary field, they would have known that in 2000. This is not unknown, or maybe it's just a detail I didn't pick up on when I was in culinary school. That's entirely possible.
No one's really talking about
no one's
in the pumpkin flowers.
Exactly. I'm really intrigued by all of this. It's so fascinating to think about. And now I want more squash season so I could get squash flowers, but now I can't because it's not that season.
Gretchen looks so sad.
I'm really sad. Have to wait for next year. Maybe we'll have to put that in as an episode. We can do a classic preparation of squash blossoms that have done at like every restaurant ever. And then we can do something interesting with them.
That would be fun. I would love that.
We'll put it on the schedule.
Put it on the schedule. So those are my fun pumpkin seeds and pumpkin flowers, I guess, kugels. And then you and I were talking about, you had actually suggested what it would look like to like preserve your pumpkin once you've carved it. I did spend a little bit of time looking up a couple of tricks to keep your carved pumpkin longer because it's so sad when your little pumpkin just is falling apart on the ground out there and it's not even Halloween at all.
And yeah, sad to say that these pumpkins we're carving today will not make it to Halloween. I'm sure you'll all be shocked.
Right, because once carved, pumpkins will typically only last for 3 to 5 days. A little bit longer if you're in a cold climate, which I am not. Gretchen is not really either. It's a short lifespan once you cut into that pumpkin. It's important from that point to avoid mold and moisture. What you want to do on the mold side, they say bleach. We're using vinegar because we didn't want to use bleach. But they say you can either completely submerge your carved pumpkin into a solution of water and bleach, or you can use a spray bottle and spray it around the exposed parts. And then you just want to let that dry out. They also say you can use tea tree oil, but it's kind of harmful to pets and maybe children. So, maybe
not
not
high on the list. Yeah.
Yep. And so then once you've sanitized it to avoid that mold, you want to help it avoid moisture. And so this says, in order to avoid it looking like a shrunken head, you want to apply a water repellent lubricant. So they say petroleum jelly or vegetable oil. I'm going to use vegetable oil. Gretchen's going to do coconut oil with hemp because we were thinking about the antibacterial qualities of hemp.
Yeah, well, also I need to clean this jar out. So I need an application that will use a lot of because I moved the primary amount of this into a easier container to use for body application. I've got kind of a lot in here that's just hanging out. So I figure why not try spreading it on my High Gluttony pumpkin.
Perfect.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. It's a heller good experiment.
It's a heller good experiment. It's spooky season. So we don't know what's ever going to happen. I don't know why I keep saying spooky season. Nothing about this episode is spooky. I just want it to be spooky.
I mean, feel free to add in some spooky noises into the intro and
I'll
stuff.
add some spooky sounds. That'll help.
Hey, I am not anti spooky season. We could spooky it up. I'm just not I'm not a spooky person. I'm more like it's fall time and we get caramel apples and da-da-da-da. That's my shtick for fall. So I don't think about the spooky as hard as you do, but I'm here for it. Okay.
We'll add a little ooh sounds.
I've got some blood drips we can add to the photos. Oh, and cobwebs. I did a whole thing last year for work. Good.
So we'll use that oil to help keep the moisture balanced. And then they say that there's something called pumpkin fresh spray, which I've never heard of.
Oh, of course. With as obsessed as people are about Halloween and pumpkins and shit, of course somebody has invented a specific thing for that.
Pumpkin fresh. It has a fungicide and a lubricant. So it just does all of this in one for you, I guess. I don't know what that does when you breathe it in, but I guess it preserves your pumpkin.
It could be something fairly innocuous. Yeah, probably mask up if you're spraying that. I mean, it's not something that's super good for you. I just don't think it might actively hurt you.
Sure. But then if you're not going to carve your pumpkin, it says you can put oil or jelly or petroleum jelly, Vaseline, whatever on the outside of it to keep it looking fresh and sparkly. And then if you are going to use the seeds like we are today, don't use any bleach on it. Just don't use any bleach at all. And then it says if you come across any pieces of mold in the pumpkin flesh, you want to cut that away so that you don't use any of that if you're cooking the seeds. So that's it for my preservation tips.
I've decided I'm going to add glitter to my coconut oil.
Okay, of course.
So that my pumpkin can sparkle because you said, I think you said Did you say sparkly? I think you said sparkly.
I said shiny. And you were like, glitter.
Glitter! Oh, I got an excuse to use glitter. Now that I've gotten myself totally distracted, here's what we decided we were going to do. So you did kind of say this, but I'm going to just say it one more time in case it wasn't clear before. We've already done some sterilization with some vinegar because we are always like looking for the less icky, chemically kind of preservatives over here. So we've done a vinegar inside. We're going to do oil rub after we've carved it. So I feel like that's a good point to make. Do not oil your pumpkin before carving.
Mm-hmm.
That fucker's going to be slippery anyway. Do not make it harder on yourself.
Right. Not only have we sprayed it down with the vinegar, but we've already cut the top off and taken out all of our seeds and cleaned out all the guts too. Mm-hmm. And then sprayed it down with the little vinegar.
Right. Because we're gonna eat our pumpkin seeds. That's part of this. In case that wasn't clear before. Okay, so we have some effects going on from my weed. Let's report in since it's the first time ever smoking it. It's decently strong for being harvested slightly early, and it's making me a little spacey. Shocking, I know.
Yeah, no surprise there.
I'm not gonna smoke anymore, because I feel like it's starting to make me kind of lose track of where I'm at. I'm going to just put that over there. Do I have any more coffee? I'm going to have a little coffee. We'll put some caffeine in here.
So we have already done a few things. Like Gretchen said, we are going to bake our pumpkin seeds. From here, we're going to head into the kitchen and toast the seeds because we want them to dry out a little bit. And then we're going to finish carving our pumpkins and mix up our seeds with their spices and then bake them officially. Gretchen, talk to me about our ingredients.
This is Kenji's recipe. I probably only got about a cup's worth of pumpkin seeds out of my pumpkin. So I'm going to preface this with the actual ingredients I'm going to use today will be half quantities of this, but this is the recommended quantity from Kenji's recipe. So we've got 2 cups of pumpkin seeds, 2 tablespoons of oil, vegetable, canola, or olive, 2 teaspoons of curry powder, kosher salt, and freshly ground black pepper. That's going to be to your taste. 1/4 cup chopped mint from 1 bunch of mint. Seems a little repetitive, but fine. And 2 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lime juice from 1 lime. Special equipment. So we are going to be using a knife. I'm assuming that's for carving the pumpkin and chopping the herbs, I guess. That would be the 2 reasons to have a knife.
Because we used a serrated knife on part of it, and then I'll probably use a little paring knife now.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll get a paring knife. I might want both. You're right. Couple types of knives. Very just useful for this.
Grab a few. See what works.
See what works. Spoons. We both used wooden or bamboo spatula, scraping spatula. So the one with this one edge is square and then it rounds off to the other side. We found that was a really good tool for scraping the inside of the pumpkin. That was Becca's idea. I thought was particularly inspired.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Baking sheet and tray, and then covered with parchment paper. You can go sans of parchment paper, but it's going to make your life easier if you have it. And a spray bottle, bleach if you're going to use it, or vinegar, bleach or vinegar, and some form of vegetable oil. Not all of that's going towards the pumpkin seeds, but that's everything we're doing here today.
Right. Everything we thought you should have.
You would use in this situation. Oh, and we also use colanders to wash the seeds in a bowl.
And we both put our pumpkins on big towels. In a towel, just to kind of collect all the little pieces and stuff. Mm-hmm. Our tips and tricks from doing this for 15 minutes a little bit ago.
We're profesh.
We know everything.
I guess I'll just go over the method for these seeds since it's not a terribly complicated recipe. So I'm not going to go nitty gritty and read the actual recipe today, if that's all right with you, Becca.
Works for me. It is pretty simple.
We got the seeds out of the pumpkin and we washed those pretty thoroughly. We did find that was a bit of a frustrating step, because I would love to sit down and scrub every single one of every fiber of pumpkin, but for sanity's sake, I didn't.
Walk away from the stringy pieces. Walk away.
Just walk away. I found a big clump in there when I went to spread them out. So I was like, oh, maybe should have paid a little more attention.
No, don't walk away so fast. But so washed and are drying out. We're hoping to get all the stringy bits off once it's a little drier, but they're kind of drying right now.
We're going to go into a 200-degree oven to just make sure those are really, really dry. That seems to be the most important point. I remember making pumpkin seeds as a kid, and yes, we would toast them and eat them, but were they good? Not in my opinion. I was not jazzed. My dad ate most of them, I think, probably.
Right, probably.
Not a good memory, in my opinion, but I, feel like we're learning new techniques from this podcast. And so I was like, somebody's got to know how to do this at home so that they're much more edible. And lo and behold, our friend Kenji had a method. So we are going with this. So we will get them really dried out in that oven. He did not specify time, so we're kind of going to have to play it by ear. And then we're going to pull those out of the oven to let them cool for a few minutes and turn our oven up to 325. Then we are going to add in all of our spices and the salt and pepper. And then we'll roast the seeds for 25 minutes. That is the recommended time. Feel free to just feel that out for yourself, of course, because as we know, cooking times are just a suggestion.
We never know when it's going to take longer or shorter.
Feels like half the time when I'm predicting, I'm at all kinds of wrong. Expect one way, and then it goes completely the opposite. This is why we do this.
We'll test it. We'll see. Hopefully this double bake, if you will, solves that flavor problem for you.
Yes, I hope so. I am also desperate to try curry flavored pumpkin seeds. I don't have enough curry flavored things in my life. I love stuff that's flavored with curry. Or I'm having a moment with it, maybe. I don't know. I'm just craving that curry. So,
Well, it should be good. Yeah. Right. So then once those are all totally dried or cooled out of the oven, we just end up tossing them with that last remaining mint and lime.
Yeah. And enjoy.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Should we start?
I like this. Yes, we should.
Oh, I didn't turn my oven on.
Oh, neither did I. So we're both.
Oh my gosh.
We don't even need to wait for the oven to preheat to put our seeds
in.
Because they're just drying. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let me just move them from the paper towels over.
But I like your idea also of rubbing them after you toast them. Was that in the recipe and I missed it? Good idea.
Well, thank you.
That's actually really smart because that's the sort of the fibrous part of the pumpkin that's on the outside should, in theory, dry a little bit and maybe be able to be rubbed off, which would be kind of exciting.
Are you ready to pop these guys in?
Oh, I already put.
You already did? You already
did.
All right. I'm behind. Okay.
You're so slow working on that.
This is my loose stencil.
Very nice. Do you have a small, can't think of something that you would possibly have. Do you have grapefruit tools or seafood picking tools? Those could be interesting things to use on your pumpkin to make different designs and stuff too. So,
or melon ballers.
Yeah. No, I'm just glad you took the cannabis leaf because I didn't want to have to do that one.
It's
I don't want to have to deal with that intricacy there.
We'll see how it comes out. Oh yeah, I don't know if we said, but Gretchen's doing the High Gluttony HG, and I'm doing a cannabis leaf because that's what we're about.
Exactly. So I've got my serrated steak knife. I've got a paring knife. I've also got my tournée knife, which I never use for tournéing vegetables anymore. But
I don't know what that is.
We're going to have to do some tournés because they're very frustrating. I will send you one of these because they're very cheap, but
we'll have to do it. It's very frustrating.
Very frustrating. And because I do like to sort of simulate sometimes some of the stuff we learn in culinary school. This is a lesson from culinary school, but I have come to have an appreciation for the tournée vegetable, and we'll get into why on that episode, although I'm dying to tell you right now. But I thought because it is a smaller, it's got kind of a little hook on the end, it's an interesting looking knife. could be advantageous to doing if any kind of fine work on a pumpkin. So that's like a little narrow tip at the end. So it's a little bit easier than like a standard paring knife.
Sure.
Are you carving?
I'm trying, but I'm not sure what I'm doing.
So are you using your stencil?
I drew it out on the pumpkin.
Oh, you drew it on the pumpkin.
I
thought you held up a piece of paper.
I did, but then I didn't cut that out. I don't know what I'm doing, Gretchen.
Oh, I didn't cut it out because I just did the pin pricks. So I
that's right.
Picked a pin through the paper. Oh, that is not a straight line at all. The good news is that I can carve some more there. Okay. Oh, good.
I'm already so tired.
Same. This is fucking hard. Not as much talking as we thought we'd be doing.
Too much carving.
That's why we did all the important stuff first, though. So.
I'm incapable of speech.
Holy fuck. Ow.
You okay? We were saying we should have gotten a kit.
Yeah. I don't know that would be better than what I've got going on over here right now.
Sure. You still got to apply all that pressure and stuff.
What I need right now is a way to have a fatter grip on the knife.
Oh, okay.
Because my hand can't handle that much pressure.
I see.
On one smaller point. Okay.
What's happening?
The bottom part of my H came out. I'd scored the skin of the pumpkin along it, and so it broke off when I was removing the H. So I have to
a little toothpick surgery.
Yeah. Oh, this might not work. Darn it. Okay. Okay. Well, I got the H out. If you'd like to see here.
Hey, look at that.
Now we got to see how I can do on the G. Probably what I should have been doing on the H is cutting out sections and not trying to remove the whole H at the same time.
Sure. Okay, I think I got it. It's a little funky, but
I mean, vegetable carving is not easy. Come on. Like
we know what it is.
There's a reason people mostly do, unless you're really talented and, have a lot of time. Don't do just elaborate sculptures and pumpkins.
Yeah. 2 triangles.
Yeah.
Well then. Oh, I haven't checked on my seeds. Have you checked on your seeds?
I have not. No.
I don't know how long they need to go.
I will go look in a second. I mean, I'm kind of assuming it would be longer than this to dry them out fully.
Still some moisture.
Okay. Then I won't.
You don't have to get up. Yeah.
Worry about
kind of separating some of the.
I'm sure that would be a good idea for me to do. Oh, I should have put this H and this G further apart. Oh, shoot. Might have been ambitious with my placement here. Okay. I am probably 3/4 way done with the G. I'm going to go check my seeds. Oh, yeah. That rubbing thing is going to work. But yeah, mine are still pretty sticky. You are really onto something, Becca.
Thank you.
I mean, I know it was unintentional, but damn.
But yeah, I'll take it. It's like Marcella said. Intuition will just take over when you're doing the right steps.
Yes.
Or something.
So I did put the cinnamon on the inside of my pumpkin. And so now it just smells like vinegar and cinnamon.
Well, there are worse things.
It's just like, okay. Oh, I am getting into this now. Of course, I've discovered that the G is much worse than the H as far as structural integrity goes. Okay, I did it.
You did it.
I did it.
Job.
I figured out how to get it done. I don't think I've ever done anything other than like a basic pumpkin.
Like a face?
Yeah.
Jack-o'-lantern. I've only carved pumpkin like 3 times in my life or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not something, I didn't even do it till I worked at Williams-Sonoma in my 20s. And we did it as like a team retreat thing at our boss's house.
Oh.
Like, cool.
I've even done it quite a few times as an adult, so.
I like it.
Yeah, definitely cut these in too close to each other.
Oops.
Did not consider structural integrity of the smaller bits.
Doing a seed check. They are still moist. How long has it been? We don't know.
15 minutes, maybe 20 max. Maybe I have done this whole pumpkin, so like I guess it's not. Ooh, okay.
I love it. That looks so good. That looks great. Nice job.
It is barely hanging on. Like some parts of it are barely hanging on by a thread over here.
I feel like that was harder than my leaf.
Well, it definitely took me longer, but
I guess that's true. But it felt like more cuts were necessary.
that might be true. I'm not sure.
Well, if we do it again next year, we'll switch.
Oh, but I feel like that's just asking for trouble, because you know what I'm gonna do with like that is like spend ages carving out like all the little jagged edgety things.
Yeah, that was tripping me up, and then I was like, you're not gonna be able to do that.
Maybe I'll have to start practicing.
Start now.
It's definitely going to be shiny. I may have gotten a little too much of the oil on here already.
Ooh, too much oil, a problem. Too much glitter, a blessing.
I'd say, yeah, never too much glitter. What are you talking about? Right, you just have to make it to nightfall, pumpkin.
Just hold till the candle can get in there. Okay, I'm gonna do another seed check. There's like a film that's coming off some of them.
Yeah, that's the slippery part. That's why I said that was
now
such a good idea. Yeah, the dried out, it's just like coming right off.
I thought you meant the stringy bits would come right off, but now I see what you mean.
Well, hopefully, yeah, most of the stringy bits.
That too.
Yeah. It was just, yeah, all around good idea in my opinion. But yeah, I should have gotten a bigger pumpkin.
More seeds or more space?
More space.
Or both. Yeah, more space.
Or made my High Gluttony signature thing smaller. I had it 4 inches and I was like, that's too small. So I blew it up to 8 inches and I think that was too big.
A little bit too big, yeah. Oh, shit. I put my seeds in a little towel to shake them up, and then there was a hole and a bunch flew out. I think they're kind of done.
Okay, let me check mine then.
Check yours, yeah.
See what's happening. And yeah, that film's coming right off. Awesome. Yeah, it did better with that like light film of stuff. But the like stringy stuff is, you're right, not really coming off as well. But a little bit. Scrape it.
Yeah. So oven up to 325?
Yep.
And then these get mixed with the curry powder and salt and pepper. Ugh, these little films, these little filmy pieces. Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start like moving each seed off to the side, because I was like, is there an easy way to do this and get these separated? It feels like I'm just gonna have to pick up every single one and rub it off.
Is it necessary? Will it just kind of like dissolve if we use them?
Oh, it's pretty fibrous.
Yeah.
Not exactly pleasant. I'm actually going to measure my seeds to see how many I have, just to be somewhat exact about it here.
Okay.
Oh, it's only half a cup.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's fine, but...
Yeah. I think I have about just a cup.
Lucky you.
I know.
So I have to cut that down to 1.5 teaspoons of oil and a half a teaspoon of, well, I'm using Vatovan because that's what I have on hand.
Instead of the curry powder.
Instead of curry powder. Salt. It's like, I'm forgetting something. Well, my seeds are spiced. My oven is preheated. What are you looking at over there?
Same. I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, exciting.
25 minutes.
25 minutes. So we'll see all you lucky people in the future.
Spooky future.
The spooky future. We're in the spooky future. 3, 2, 1.
Pull them.
Pull those seeds. I was going to call them nuts again. What is that? Like, pull your nuts. Probably just because I'm used to toasting nuts more than seeds.
Sure.
Okay. Putting these in a bowl. Getting them off that pot tray in order to let them cool just a bit faster. How do yours look? Mine look toasty.
They look beautiful. They're such a pretty color.
Yeah, they're really nice. Man, they smell so good.
I know, and I can't wait for that mint to hit it.
Because he said to let it cool, right? I'm
Mhm.
not imagining that.
Nope, he did.
Oh, it did say to stir occasionally. Oops.
Oh.
I only moved them around once.
Oh, in the oven?
Yeah.
Oops. I thought you meant now. I was like, all right.
No,
Give it a
yeah.
little
Well,
toss.
I mean, you can. That'll just help it cool down quicker. I mean, mine are already cool enough to touch.
Should we go with the lime and mint?
Why not? Let's be rebels.
Why not?
Okay, a little lime. Just a nice squeeze. Tossy, tossy, tossy. Oh, need more salt. A little more curry powder. I could have done a little more Baddoana on mine. Just like
I think I could have done a lot more. Like double.
But I do like the hit of lime juice.
I like the crunch. It'd be good on a soup or a salad or something.
Oh, yeah. Probably could do this if you wanted to make it a little more shelf-stable, quote unquote. Instead of using like the lime juice, just do some lime zest on it.
That sounds good.
They're real good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I would definitely do it again.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Curry pumpkin seeds and pumpkin carving. As always, that took more out of me than I thought it was going to. We're like, this will be easy. Casual one.
Never.
Never. But it
I
was
love these.
spooky. Just kidding. At least it was spooky. Yeah, these are delicious.
These are really good.
I would munch on these all day. They're kind of like popcorn, but they don't stick.
Exactly. I was thinking, so much like popcorn. Just so good.
Delicious.
All right, everybody, get the fuck out of here so I can just keep shoving these in my face.
We gotta get our zinc in. Yum. Okay. We'll try to get the recipe up. We'll try to get some pictures up. We took pictures. That's a first. I mean, that's pretty good.
It's not a first, but first time in a while that we've like really stuck with it. Yes.
Tell everybody you know about this podcast until they don't want to talk to you ever again. And then say it one more time. Like and subscribe. And thank you for joining us, Gluttoneers. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Just to get in one Bob's Burgers reference, the one where the song is what I love you so much it's scary. I want to listen to that song all the time. I was like, this is actually like a legitimately good song. Like I want this in a mix.
There's a couple that get stuck in my head all the time.
Yeah.
The Topsy one. It's not Halloween, but the Topsy one.
Yeah,
I like.
right.
Could listen to every day. I want
all the time.
3 minutes of that song.
Anyway, off we go.
Off we go. Crunch, crunch, crunch,
crunch, crunch, crunch, crunch. Yeah.